It's a big decision to make for anybody to have kids. How did your lives together change?
Remember that before that we had had two miscarriages before Sophie.
Oh, right.
You know that you have to terminate if the child turns out to have the disease. So there's a part of you that's sort of trying to maintain some distance and not get too emotionally invested. But when she turned out to be healthy, and like I remember after she was born, like talking to her, like after everybody had gone home, and I'm like laying there in the bed, this hospital bed, and I was just like, "You're my miracle baby. You're my miracle baby." I was just like so completely overwhelmed with joy, and even though before, I had been ambivalent about the whole having children thing, it's a big change. Um, but I just could not believe the level of, how much I loved her. I mean, I was overwhelmed with love and emotion. I mean, it's just unreal, especially the first time. And then actually, I remember that with Zachary, I was thinking, how can I possibly, I love her so much. How can I possibly love another baby as much as I love Sophie? That's just not going to be possible. But then you totally do, you totally do. So it's just like this endless ability to love these creatures who you bring into your life. I don't know.
Yeah, Anne really made it a project of, and she still does, of parenting. And she taught, and her sister being in the educational field and Anne being in the psychological field, they sort of studied it and related topics in school, but they made it a life project really with their own kids. But I always was interested. I mean, Anne would come out because she had really made more of a study of it. She really had some. She had ideas that I hadn't thought of in terms of parenting styles, and that was very, and a lot. I agreed with a lot of them once she explained them to me. So,
What are some other things about Sophie that you've observed that seem very specific to her as a kid?
Once she does sort of sort of get her bearings, she's incredibly passionate and excited about everything. She just runs around with this grin on her face. Now when you see, like these things that used to scare her or intimidate her, like she climbs up these trees and, like nobody can believe how, she just does these things that people think are very scary, but doesn't even faze her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's just fearless. And she just, she's like an adventuresome spirit at heart. Like she's always been adventuresome about eating. She'll eat anything. She'll try anything. The other kids just would never try. Um, and she loves to figure out things. Like she loves to figure out how to take apart things or put batteries in something or, all of those little technical things she loves, helping me put together bookshelves or something, anytime I have some project, that's her favorite thing. It's like helping me.
How old are Sophie and Zachary now?
well, Sophie, just
yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you. All right.
Sophie's 8 and Zachary's 6.
Right.
So yeah.
So she's in a very outgoing
Yeah.
period now. And she was maybe when she was 6 herself, she was a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. And Zachary's, also Zachary is more, I think he's not as shy as Sophie was, when she was his age. And he also is amazingly focused. He's a kid who will spend incredible amounts of time doing these elaborate, playing with toys, and he'll have these conversations, one toy with the other toy. And he also loves, like figuring out how the electronics work or how the TV works. He knows all the little settings on the computer that I don't even necessarily know yet. Like he's already figured it out.
Do you remember, this was probably a year or 2 years ago, we figured out how to flip the screen on the laptop so it would be upside down. And we've never done that
Oh,
ourselves.
right. I don't know
And so we
what that
came in
is.
one day and he was happily flipping the screen, the image on the screen upside down.
Right.
So if it's a project that he's interested in,
Right. He's totally.
you cannot get him away from it. He's completely focused.
They seem to me, looking at them compared to other people's kids, that they take care of each other a lot more and that they're closer. Like they walk down the street hand in hand, and sometimes, or they, Sophie seems to want him to participate in what she's doing all the time, and vice versa.
Right. And I think that Sophie, from a pretty early age, just decided that to make Zachary her project rather than her, enemy.
Well, and there's something in their personalities that's very complementary, I think. He's so receptive and she's so sort of energetic.
Right.
Although over time he's become more assertive too in his own way, but it's not in this oppositional way. It's in
Right. It's in
a sort
actually
of
saying, oh, why don't you come and look at what I'm doing, and she will come and do what he wants to do as well. I mean, it's very sweet. I mean, it really is. They really right now are in a very, very good place with each other.
That seems like something that they can carry forward for the rest of their lives too. Is that if they'll be sharing all of these experiences together as they come, whatever unknown is in the future that you can worry about and you can worry about, but there is something heartening about thinking that they have strength in each other. Because you had said the other day about being really worried for Dave. At whatever point it becomes that he's sort of carrying the torch, some things that you would hope for him.
I think the most important part is being there for them, being there for them, being there for them, being as healthy and in as good emotional state as you can be. I mean, my dad's strategy was not let my mom's symptoms, take him to his sort of mental state down. Not let her craziness drive him crazy. Not, sort of try to maintain as much of a sanguine attitude as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not, I mean, ultimately,
Yeah.
comes out elsewhere,
Well, everyone in their family sort of keeps this sense of humor about it.
Humor seems key.
I think humor is important.
Yeah. It's
going to be very hard, I think, to be a single parent. But I think that Anne, by all this time that she's spending with them, will have really, hopefully,
helped to lay an amazing groundwork.
And that they will have hopefully internalized a lot of what she's about and sort of bring a lot of that to our relationship. And I think that when they get older, hopefully a lot of the traits of Anne's, will be sort of flowing through them. And they can almost bring Anne, keep Anne alive in our family.
Sometimes when the time is short on something, you appreciate it. And what Anne is doing now, focusing her energies 100% into this project of parenting, is very, very rare, because people think they've got all the time in the world to sort it out,
right,
and let their kids know.
And I think that's
how they feel.
Got to have an effect on our kids, and a good effect that'll be a lasting one.
Yeah.
Having my mother get sick and understand that her life was also truncated, that it's like, and then what do you do with that information? Do you, and so it changes what you do. It changes your focus. It changes your attention. And so, in my family, it's about getting those last few moments, whatever they are, and really being there, really, diving in and doing it, They always cheer me up, no matter, I can be as depressed as, about the future, but it's always, totally changes my mood to see them and spend time with them. And yeah, I mean, I think it's important. It's important to be there, no matter, you know, and to sort of not dwell too much on what's coming.
Hello?
Hello?
Excuse me, doctor?
Yes?
Humpty doesn't feel good. And while you're at it, figure out how to get Humpty from boiled to raw.
Well, first of all, the reason Humpty's feeling sick is because he's dizzy. Second of all, eggs are supposed to be hard boiled or scrambled, unlike you, Sally.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Humpty, looks like you're supposed to be like this. Sorry I got you into it. That's okay. Alright, goodbye. Bye. See you later. See you later, Humpty. Go. No. Bye. The end!
Yay!
Yay.